Hey, Internet Land. Internet Land. It's Jim, Slick Audio. I want to discuss. I always start that with don't I? That's terrible. I really got to freaking work on that. We'll see. Sorry. Being an ass. It's been a long fucking Monday. So Jacob Baranowski, another question, actually, to finish his question, he had two from the other day, and I'm going to respond and finish the second one. So his question is, and I'm going to read this, so bear with me for a moment. Hi, Jim. Blah, blah, blah. You've probably used many, if not every DAW in the market. Could you recommend one or two DAWs which would be an absolute best for all applications? Meaning, recording, mixing, mastering, producing, beat making. There's a lot of articles about this, and most of them say if you're doing this or that, blah, blah. All right, so you get the general idea. So what Jacob's asking is there a digital audio workstation, piece of software out there that is going to do everything for everybody? Mixing, mastering, recording, beat making, etc. The answer is no. I don't mean to totally disappoint you, Jacob, but not in this particular instance, no. And the reason why I'm saying that is there's a mix and match. So let me give you some for examples. There was that fucking again. Cubase. Let me say Cubase. This is I'm most familiar with Cubase Nuendo. Cubase, extremely powerful. Cubase, great recording. You can do beats in it with certain virtual instruments. So you could get some virtual instruments, which are VSTIs. They're we should know what a virtual instrument is at this point. And you can definitely do beats and that sort of thing. It's just not quite as intuitive or simple as it would be in like an FL Studio or something like that. So, FL Studio and other programs like it were purely designed for that in mind. They weren't designed to record. They weren't designed to mix and master. It was designed for beat making, period. And it does what it does very well and very easily, thus making your learning curve easier. So that means you can get to making music way quicker. So, to answer, can you do it in some of these other DAWs like Pro Tools or Cubase, Nuendo, Studio One, Sonar ad nauseum here. Yeah, you can. It's just not as efficient. So there's an example of where a certain DAW will do multiple things, but not necessarily as efficiently as one that was intended for it. I hope that answers that piece. Now, let's flip the tables around and talk about beats, mixing, mastering. So let's just say you bought FL Studio. Will it do, the basic recording and that sort of thing and the mixing? Not well at all. Just not meant for that. It wasn't designed for that. It was designed for beats. So, will it do some degree? Yeah, but not to the level of even remotely close to a Cubase or Pro Tools or Studio One. You get the general idea. So they're really two different kind of animals. So you can really do it in one. It's just a little more horky. You can't really do it in the other. Now, you had talked about video, or that I'm going to call that post-production. So that's post-production work, is where you're doing audio for a video score, audio score for video score. That is a program like Nuendo, and it is very, very specialized. It takes a shit ton of horsepower. They're very expensive, and if you're doing post work, if you're not working in Nuendo, I'd be scratching my head as to wondering why. And for the most part, you really can't do it in most of the other programs. So that's its own little animal. Now, the final one is mastering. Mango. It's Pauly Mango. Mastering. Mastering's a different animal altogether. That is a set of tools totally foreign to the recording world, to the normal engineer. That would be a program like Wavelab. So I use Wavelab for the mastering that I do. It is, in my opinion, it's just by far the best program out there for doing that kind of work, and I would almost bet that the majority of people doing mastering, that's what they're using. And if they're not, I don't care, yell in the comments, have a time, I could care less. But that's pretty much, it's software that's designed to do, just that. It's geared for mastering and analyzing waveforms and phasing and all this kind of stuff. And again, could you do that in a Cubase or a Nuendo or a program like that? Yeah, not really. Yeah, kind of, but not really. That's why Steinberg makes 3 different products. I mean, that's the whole reason. So I wish I could tell you and give you the magic answer and say, yeah, there's a magic bullet, man, and it's this program, and it'll do everything in the world that you want it to do. It's just not the case, dude. Just not the case at all. So, no, mixing and your general recording and that sort of thing, that is programs like Pro Tools, Cubase, Studio One 3, blah, 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 blah. The Beat software, FL Studio, and programs like it. And then there's then there's post-production software like Nuendo, and then there's mastering software like like Wavelab, Steinberg's Wavelab. So there's really 4 different situations there. I use 3 here of those situations. I do some post work. These videos are shot live, obviously, because number one, it's quicker for us to get it done, so we can get it done in our busy day, working and running 2 companies, as opposed to making, videos and then, going through all the post-production work, which is a fucking shit ton of work. So we're trying to do this for speed to get out to you guys so we can answer questions. Quite honestly, if I answer your question, you're really going to give a fuck if there's fancy shit flying around and all kinds of stuff, or if I'm just giving you the answer that you need. I would hope it's the information that matters and not necessarily the fancy shit flying around. If it's that, go buy a Mac. Go away. Sorry. I mean, that means you're fucking worthless. Now, in all seriousness, so I'm using Steinberg Nuendo here, and I'm using it for my recording needs. I'm also using that for my post-production needs. It happens to do both, why it's so damn expensive. If I only did recording, I'd be using Cubase. Persona Studio One, if I wasn't using that, I'd be using Studio One. Pro Tools is the most fucking backwards software I've ever seen in my life. Coming from a Steinberg world my whole career, and I've been exposed to Pro Tools, but not as an engineer. I've been on the other side of the glass doing the recording. But I can tell you this much: working with it for the first time over the past couple years, it's just fucking backwards, man. Everything, they are so far behind the freaking curve. I mean, shit that Steinberg came out with 10, 12, 14 years ago, they're just coming up with now and making it sound like it's brand new. And I'm just sitting here cracking up, and all the Steinberg users, just kind of chuckle about it. Many of our customers, etc. And it's like, really, you're coming out with this now, you're making it look like it's yours or sound like it's yours. It's fucking laughable. So it just does things totally different. If you've used Pro Tools before and you know it already, then, by all means, stick with Pro Tools and get screwed by their pricing. I mean, by their help. I mean, not screwed at all. I mean, whatever. Or you can simply take a look at real intuitive software like the Steinberg products, like the Studio One 3 product. But those 2 alone, to me, are they just blow everybody out of the fucking water. It is what it is. So, and look, you could hate me for that comment and say, I don't give a fuck. Use what you use. And if you're used to it and you can be efficient and you can make good music on it, then hey, what more power to you. Way cool. And that goes for Pro Tools as well. Look, it's a tool to get a job done, right? You've heard me say that a million times. If you're new to the game, I would not recommend Pro Tools at all. I would recommend, first and foremost, it would be Cubase, just because I find it to be very intuitive, very straightforward. And if you don't want to go the Steinberg Cubase route, then I would definitely do the Persona Studio 1.3 route. It's just, they're very intuitive. Everything about it makes sense. Plugins are half the cost, for the rest of the world as they are in the Pro Tools world. Pro Tools just has to do everything, proprietary, try to screw you over, and that's the way I view it anyways. I've known about Digi for too long to not know their antics, and I hate companies like that, which is why I dislike Apple, and you all folks all know that. So, to me, it's, fair product, or good product at a fair price. And I believe that a Slick Audio computer is a great product at a fair price. And, we're not trying to screw anybody over. We have to make a living, but we're not making a killing by any stretch of the imagination. Put it this way. Even if we sold to every one of you, we're still not going to get rich. So we're doing this, in my opinion, for the industry. This is a second industry for us as a company. As you can see, the Slick Cyber Systems shirts that we have on today, that's our main gig, man, and that's what we do. We're IT folks through and through that happen to be audio freaks, and we've been doing this stuff forever. So we're just, it's time for us to give the knowledge over to you guys and start making machines that y'all can use instead of going down that stupid fruit route. And which is going through a whole series of changes anyway. So, anyways, Jacob, I got long-winded to the end. I apologize. I hope I answered your question for that. And again, it's maybe not what you wanted to hear, but it's what you needed to hear. So, that's about it for the day. I'm keeping this one fairly short and sweet. We are going to be at NAMM, just to give you that little, nudge again. So, we will be at Nashville NAMM, Summer NAMM. And it's booth 334, which is right by the new Pro Audio Consortium, whatever the fuck it's called, section, this big section. And Persona's going to be across from us, and I mentioned all other companies. We're going to have a great time, like we always do. Nashville's a kick-ass town. Look, now, side note, I'm a diehard Flyers fan. Diehard Philadelphia Flyers fan. But since they got eliminated by the idiot Penguins, not a fan. Sorry, anybody but. For me, I kind of want to see the Predators get up there again. So, Nashville is going to be up there in the list this year, so it's all right. But now, don't tell my Flyers buddies that. Is what it is. But anyways, so I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful week. We're probably going to post another video tomorrow, worst case day after, and I'm going to go break shit. Because it's what I do for a living. Slick Audio, www.slick.audio, 570-371-5800, option 2. And, if you go to our website, you can catch every bloody social media feed in the upper right-hand corner that you ever thought we ever had, and there's probably more. There's probably more than I even fucking know about. I just want to tell you all have a great night.
Say hi to Wayne Davis.
Wayne Davis, my God almighty. In the first band I was ever in, Mr. Wayne Davis was the bass player, and Wayne owns a recording studio down, I believe, Wayne, don't shoot me for this, in South Jersey. And if I get that wrong, shoot me. Just post it something later. But well, don't really shoot me, but But anyways, it's good to see you there, buddy. Good to see you.
He says he's been a Cubase Nuendo user since 2002.
There you go. So Wayne, professional studio, Cubase Nuendo user since 2002. To give you a general idea, that's about how long I've been in it. Maybe actually a little bit longer than that. I think another year or two beyond that. So point being is a long, long time. So yeah, real studios use this stuff, guys. They're not toys. They're professional products. So. It's time for me to go break shit. Wayne, good seeing you, buddy. Jacob, hopefully answered your questions. Everybody else, God bless you. And, hey, everybody, have a great day. Talk to you later this week.